say, the whole Louis C.K. thing, man, it's still not getting as much press as it probably deserves, particularly since his movie Daddy's Little Girl has some undertones of much older man.
Can you fill me in? I read what you sent, but I think I'm missing a piece of the Louis C.K. story.
Allegedly,
He's not a
it was without. He has been confronted about it. There was a New York Magazine writer that finally confronted him about it. These rumors about Louis C.K. have been going on for a long time.
What, with young women? Is that
he would basically? It's just sort of this it's rough stuff. I mean, you can picture it in your head. He basically closes the door when it's some up and coming female comedian, sort of gives him a weird stare and just starts jerking off in front of him, and that's it.
What is this with the instant jerk off?
Right. Now, Gio, first of all, would you hear this stuff? I mean, as far as that redheaded wonder is concerned,
I have worked with him on several occasions and been alone in the green room.
And he didn't do it to you. And what's wrong with you? What's wrong with
me?
Me?
Disappointedly, why not me? I've heard these things. I didn't know about this rumor till about a year ago.
Yeah, that's about when it was really starting to.
But that's when people are like, oh, it's common knowledge. I don't know. I don't care. It's like, look, I have no right to speak on this because I'm a dude. Shocker. I'm a dude. And I can't imagine, I can't sit there and say, well, just leave if you're a girl, because I don't know, what goes on with that power thing. So I'm not going to misstep, and then I'll do some Holocaust jokes later. But I'm not going to, not happen again with these gas prices, right? What were you saying in the green room? Yahtzee. But I'm not going to weigh, it's hard being a woman. It really is. I wake up every day and say, well, I come to every morning, and I say, thank God I'm a dude, because because if it were me, I'd be like, why don't you women just walk out? But I know it's not that easy. Right. I know it's not that easy.
Nancy, is it that easy?
It is. It is, but, a lot of people don't understand. It's really common in my industry as well. And there's a lot of, no, but it's crazy that there's a lot of, young girls in my industry where it's this is their job, and when their agent is pretty much pressuring them, it's kind of do I work and pay my rent, or do I do this? You know what I mean? It's different when you're established and stuff, and then you can just kind of, do whatever and walk out and stuff. But
so I'm sorry.
Well, no, please, always interrupt. My nasal voice is annoying me. But what advice do you give young ingenues coming into the business?
I really don't talk to a lot of them because I just don't have the patience. I'm 32 years old. I've been in this industry a long time, and a lot of these girls are just dumb. I hate to say it. I don't have the patience for it. Jesus. I don't have the patience for it. I would need a drink to deal with them.
I'm more surprised that, I look at Louis C.K. I think he'd have to work into, I'm just surprised just like that he's raring to go. I feel like he'd have to, banging on an end table a little bit, get some life going. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that would have a
perversion. He needs to have it.
They just turn around and he's going. He seems like he.
I mean, there's
a self-loathing thing, right?
That takes balls to do. I mean, it really does.
Well, and just the overall thought that this is never going to come back to haunt me, especially in this day and age with your average, what the kids call them, iPhones and whatnot.
Yeah, everything.
But speaking as a comedian from a point I can speak about, and what do they say? Every overnight success took 12 years to get there.
Sure.
I can imagine CK he's a self-loathing, you've seen his act, it's a self-loathing kind of thing. Yeah. And yes. He probably was doing that, saying, allegedly, if he was, he's doing bananas in Poughkeepsie. He's like, I'm never gonna get famous. This is never gonna come back to home. He's like, I've been doing this fucking 11 years, this and this, and I'm not worried about fucking being a millionaire someday and getting. He's like, oh my God, I'm a millionaire now.
Yeah. Well, and Nancy, the one thing I definitely take issue with a little bit is because, Gino notwithstanding, sometimes comedians have sort of. Are a little troubled. Obviously, this is a terrible example. But
I love you.
But the thing with Louis C.K. is he's got very raw material, and he is a genius. I mean, you can't overlook that. But a lot of his act is about I'm A, B, and C, but I'm a great father to my daughters. Mm-hmm. I go into do this, and he brings that up constantly. A lot of this plot
overcompensation.
Well, I mean, what is that? I don't know if you can do that and then still. Obviously, there's no excuse for behavior like that, period. But I mean, that should be something that I think people are not taking issue with enough. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, he does this, and then perhaps allegedly behind closed doors, he does something else.
I think I want to pivot just a little bit and ask, what is this? We've heard it now with.
I say both you ladies do a little pivoting.
No,
he mentioned it in an empowered way.
What is it with the instant masturbating? We've gotten it with like Harvey Weinstein. We've gotten it with Mark Halperin. We've gotten it now with Louis C.K. It's like, I can understand if someone wants to intimidate someone. I can understand if someone wants to play a little game and wrap them up and trap you in the room and maybe promise you something. But the just
Turn Gino on.
That was hot. That was just me.
but just the instant masturbation. Like Weinstein walks up to this gal and he's like, do this for me. And she's like, no. And he's like, okay, just watch. Like, what? What is this? Like, what is
Can I go to the bathroom 1 minute?
Don't worry, he just had a lot of fiber last night.
I should probably just stay here.
What is this about? Like, what?
I don't get it. I don't get it either. It's gross.
You should know. You're in the industry that's
disgusting.
desensitizing us. We
Ew.
blame you.
Quickness.
It's like, it's like, whoa,
I heard
like
it's choreographed. I mean, there's something. It's like we're going to do this. We're going to do this. At least there's some sort of narrative going on. This is no narrative. It's just.
But I even think, even in like dating, like you don't want to like see that right away.
That's what men make, when they.
That was horribly accurate, actually. And it's obviously I'm not happy about it, but like our good mutual friend Lauren Sivan was the plant. I hate to reduce her to that, but she was next to the plant when the Harvey Weinstein thing happened, and she's been out here.
Recipient? Is that the word?
Yeah, happily the plant was the recipient, but God bless her, even though she was on Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly did that sort of thing that good interviewers, unlike myself, do, where they stare at you in the eye just to try to get you to cry. And Lauren wouldn't do it, but she kind of, she got a little glossy-eyed. But even when she was doing the interview and talking about all these horrible things, she was able to get in a couple digs, namely being, I couldn't believe how quick it was. And just to kind of, I was proud of her for that.
Yeah. Dawdle in that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to replicate that, to practice to go longer in front of the forced masturbation. How do you practice that?
So it's almost like he's got like Tourette's, like a masturbatory Tourette's.
Yeah,
it's like
sexual
he's just ready. I have to do it now.
Masturbatory Tourette's.